Let's try again. Okay, grade 12s, good morning. I know some of you are already done with phase 1, or some of you are still busy with phase 1. What I quickly want to do today is only the questionnaire and the 5 questions. Okay, that must be included. The purpose, okay, creating and conducting a questionnaire to collect data and information that you may not find in other sources, or to support data or information in other sources. You need to create an electronic questionnaire. It needs to be skillfully and appropriately designed to ensure the easy and appropriate answering of questions, as well as accurate importing, capturing and processing of data and information. Right, first thing, the questions in the questionnaire should help you gather data information from people not likely to be found in other sources. This is also a mark on the rubric, so please brainstorm some topics whereby you can get feedback from people through a questionnaire regarding your specific focus question, such as the following: how to raise awareness about an issue identified in the community. Remember, we're doing feeding schemes. How are people in the community affected by the issue you have chosen? Which volunteer program would assist your community? And so forth. Now, think of the options available to you in terms of how you're going to administer the questionnaire for at least 25 respondents. Trying to reach a cross-section of people in terms of age, gender. This can be done. Now they tell us just how it can be done. You can create a questionnaire, print it, distribute it. You can email it, or you can use an online tool. Grade 12s, you know how we do it, né? I'm going to explain it again to you later. So, formulate at least 5 questions, excluding biographical data. Ensure that all the questions are relevant and provide answers to questions that cannot be found in other sources. Try to create questions where people can choose an answer from a list of possible answers. Remember, closed-ended questions and open-ended questions. Grade 12s, we want people to choose options out of our Word document or out of our questionnaire. The reason for this is simply because we want to process the data. So if I ask a person how you are feeling and I don't give to that person an option, he can write in anything there, and you can't actually process it. So it's important that I'm gonna show you a few questions, but to keep this in mind, it must be closed questions, as the responses to this type of questions are often easier to record and process. Next thing, the design and layout of the questionnaire. While bearing the following in mind, it must suit the way in which it is administered. Then you talk there about content controls. Complete the questionnaire electronically for you to easily save the data and information. The questionnaire should be easy to interpret with appropriate headings and clear instructions for the user. Related questions should be grouped together under relevant headings. It must consist out of 1 page. You need to use professional formatting and layout, appropriate word processing techniques. It is a good idea to get other learners to test your survey to see where it is easy. Remember that you should have at least 25 completed questionnaires, okay, that you will store under your phase 2 folder. In the case of an online survey, the results of these surveys must be downloaded and saved in an appropriate folder under phase 2. Hard copy questionnaires also need to be stored safely, preferably by scanning them and saving them in electronic format. So, before I carry on, let's quickly look at the rubric grade 12, how the marks are allocated. Now, the first mark, clear instructions guide users in answering of questions. So I must tell the person exactly how to answer the question. Choose one of the following items in the drop down menu. Choose yes or no. Okay, we did it. I'm going to do the example on my computer so you can also see exactly how it looks. Okay, questions are relevant and mostly provide answers to questions that cannot be found in other sources. Okay, questions enable processing in spreadsheet and or database. This is the closed questions. That's why I say you must have closed questions, because then you can use it in a spreadsheet. Remember, we are not doing database in this here. And then at least 25 completed questionnaires. 25 is a lot, but yeah, I'm going to explain to you now after this how we're going to do it. The questionnaire technical, electronically created questionnaire, professionally and appropriately designed for the way in which it will be administered. And then that will ensure easy and appropriate answering of questions as well as accurate input, capturing and processing data and information. The form is created electronically, appropriate to the way it will be administered. So this is an easy 1 mark. Appropriate questions grouped together under relevant headings. That is why I said grade 12s. In phase 1 you have those 3 headings or categories that you categorize your questions in. You can do it. I want you to use that categories for this question as well. I'm going to do mine on the screen so you can see. You must have at least 5 questions. That's excluding the biographical data. And then professional formatting and layout. If you used appropriate word processing techniques, you get another mark. Okay, so you can see this is 8 marks. That is what we're going to do for this period. So let us start. I'm going to open up Word. At the top, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a word art. You can do it any way that you prefer. I'm going to use word art here. Okay. And I'm going to type in the questionnaire at the top. You can also format the word art. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm just going to press enter a few times so I have a few empty spaces. Remember, I'm going to delete these empty spaces later on. Okay, I just want to be able to type underneath questionnaire. I'm going to format the questionnaire. Grade 12, it's up to you. I'm not going to, you know how the different type of things we can do on a question on Word. Okay, putting in a shape fill, shape outline, all up to you. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. Okay, that's my questionnaire, my heading. You can also type in here, it's up to you. I'm going to type in here feeding scheme questionnaire. I'm just going to drag it a bit bigger. Okay, you can also do this. Remember just one thing, it must fit on one page. Ne? So if it's too big, you'll have a problem so that it will not fit onto one page. Remember, the one page is 1 mark. Grade 12s, don't let it go over one page. It's most now easy. Ne? Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, clear introduction, guide user in answering the questions. So what I will do here, I'll first at the top, I like to do this. I'm going to just have a short paragraph on what this topic is about, or what this questionnaire is about. Okay, I'm just going to introduce myself. Hello, I am Arno van Damme, and Arno van Damme. I am currently doing an investigation on feeding schemes in our area. Would you please be so kind to answer my questionnaire, and then thank you. Okay, so this is basically just grade 12's what I want, an introduction, just a small paragraph, 2-3 lines on what this is about, what this questionnaire is about. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep mine on the screen so you can see it still later on. Okay, so don't be too worried. What I also like to do now is I like to insert the symbol. You can use symbols or you can use borders. It doesn't matter. That maak nie so saak nie. So I'm going to click on insert shapes, sorry, not symbols, shapes, and I'm going to simply just draw a line here. Okay? Ek gaan 'n lyntjie hierso trek sodat hulle kan duidelik sien daar is die boonste deel, that is the top part, and this is where the questions will start. Okay? Just to have these different sections. You can also change the font type. And the font size, the markie saakie. Remember, it must be just, if I use 12 pt Arial, it must be 12 pt Arial all over, né? It must be consistent. Dit moet konstant wees. Jy kan dit nie heeltyd verander nie. Okay, so that is the first part. Let's quickly see there. What I will ask here on the first one, wat ek eerste hierso sal vra, is biographical information. Okay, so I'm going to type in here grade 12s. You know the drill. We did it last year as well, né? So if you look here, just wait a second. Let's get to that place. Just wait. Yeah, so formulate at least 5 questions excluding biographical data. So I'm going to use this biographical. This will be my first heading. Remember, it also must be Arial 12 now. Just going to type there biographical info. Okay. Grade 12s, you can put in a border around this. That it doesn't matter. Or you can fill it. There's no, no right and wrong. So the first thing that I will ask this person is their name. You can ask their gender. Yes, you can ask their name. You can ask their surname. Sorry, I'm just gonna surname. You can ask them the town or suburb. Let's ask here town and suburb. The reason why I want to ask this is because we're gonna do a sum if in Excel on that suburb. Okay, you're gonna see what I want to do with this. Grade 12s, I have no, you can ask any question here that I like to ask as little as possible on these. So min as moontlik te vra oor hierdie. Okay. Okay, I'm just giving you a few, just if you want to, I will keep this on the screen so you will be able to see it, so there's no problem here. What I want you to do here, what you can do, you can make it 2 columns with this part, okay, so that is next to each other. You can even put in a line in between. Let's quickly see, 2 line in between, yes, okay. Then I'm going to press tab once. So all of these are aligned underneath each other. The same here. Okay. So if I put on my show and hide, you can see your spacing will be fine. You remember these empty paragraphs we're going to remove at the end. So now I will put my cursor after name. I will go to the developer tab. I don't have the developer tab here on my screen. So how do I get it? I click on file, options. I'll click on custom ribbon and I'll just tick there developer and I'll click on OK. Gonna do it again. I click on file. I'll click on options at the bottom left. I'll click on custom ribbon and then I make sure that it is ticked there developer tab. We'll do it again, for I know there are some learners that have changed their seats. So again, file, options, you click on custom ribbon and then you tick there developer tab and you click on OK. Then you'll see at the top you'll have your developer tab. Happy? Right, now grade 12s, this is important, and I want you to also remember this for the exams. Okay, so this is also a form of revision on the exams. We're going to use on the developer tab the legacy forms. Remember these fields that we insert. Okay, normally it's question 2 in the exam or question 7 on the practical exam. For the first one, we're going to simply insert an AB, and the same with the surname, we're going to insert an AB. For the gender, we're going to use a drop down form field, and I will customize them now. For the town, you can also use a drop down form field, and the suburb as well, a drop down form field. Okay. Right. Now what I want us to do is to customize these fields. How do we customize them? Grade 12 in the exam, if they give it to you like this, it's simple, you double click on them. Okay, again, you simply just double click on name. You see there the type, it's regular text, yes, because it's a name. Let's make the maximum characters 20. And the default text, I'm gonna type in their name because they must insert their name there. And then text format, should it be uppercase, it should be first capital, the text format, so that the first letter is capital because it's a name. And then help text, just remember if you click on help text, there's a status bar and a F1 key. If I put it on my status bar, I'm just gonna type in your name. Okay, that's on the status bar, not on the F1 key. If I click on OK and OK, you see if I hover my cursor, if I click on this, should appear at the bottom. It does not. So if you lock it, maybe it will appear there then. Let's see if we type in here on the F1 key, type in your name. I think if we lock it, it will show. If you lock it, I think it will show. The surname, again, the same thing. I'm gonna make it 25 characters, regular text. I'm gonna call it here first again, and I'm gonna type in your surname. Grade 12, you can customize it with adding help text. The gender is now the drop down form field. So here I'll type in male. Remember, drop down enabled, calculate on exit, also add, and then female, click on add. Remember, same principle, you can also add a help text here. Okay, and then for town, I'm just gonna call it Berkeley East, and then let's say we're gonna go to Allowal North, and then let's say we're going to Burgersdorp. You can choose your own how you will distribute it. And then the suburb, you can add the Boisnondala, and then Fairview. For this is only examples, né? Fairview and town, and also let's make it Malacan. Yeah. Okay, this is only examples, grade 12. Remember, you can choose your own. Okay, so that is basically what I want from the biographical information. Now I'm going to have their background information just as in the previous on phase 1, on that phase 1 document. So I'm quickly going to do this with you. You already did it, but let's quickly see here. I'm going to use the format painter because I want this to be exactly the same as this. So I highlight biographical information, click on format painter, and then I click on background information again. Okay, it's very simple. You can just format it again. I just want to show you this format painter is to duplicate most the format of a specific line or paragraph. Okay, I'm going to do it again. I have the background information. I highlight the biographical information, click on format painter, and then I click on background info. Okay, so that is that. Remember, okay, now I'm only going to do 2 questions. Ek gaan net 2 vragies doen. Remember, you must have at least 3 of these sections. I only have 2 here for explaining to you. Okay, so here I'm going to have there. This is just a background info on the feeding schemes. The first question that I'm going to ask here is, are there any feeding schemes within your community? Okay, that is my first question. I also like to align it, so I press tab a few times and I go to developer tab, and I'm going to add here the option yes or no box. No, not ticked, yes ticked. So also, sorry, I almost forgot this. I'm just going to, here at the bottom or anywhere where it's possible, I'm just going to ask here, please fill in the area next to each section. Okay, that is my instruction on how they must answer the top part. Or I can have here, or choose a option from the list. Are you following what I'm doing? So basically here I'm just telling them, you can, I'd rather put it at the top just to tell them how they must answer the question. Grade 12s, again, no right or wrong. It's basically up to you. I'm just going to put here in bracket tick if yes. Okay, something like that, just giving them instructions. The next one that I want to do is on another category. So let's make it a current situation. It's just for Asian. I'm going to use the format painter again. Oh my god, sorry, format painter, current situation. Here I'm going to ask, this is now, I want to find out how hungry the people, or how hungry a person currently are. Okay, and options, sorry. Okay, I want to find out how hungry a person is. So I'm going to ask here, did you, and yeah, let's make it on a scale. On a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being very hungry and 10 being or not being hungry. Only for example, né? Dis nou net vir 'n voorbeeld. On a scale of 1 to 10, how hungry are you at the moment? Okay, so here again I'm going to have an option here, and now I'm going to put in there, I'm going to give them an option of 1 to 10. So I'm going to have there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's the options that I give to them. The next one I'm going to ask there, how much money do you spend on food a month per person? Okay, this is just basic questions, grade 12s. What is important to me here, I'm going to give them now options to choose out of. So I'm going to have here less than 500, between 500 and 1,000, more than 1,000. Okay, so again, just examples. I'm gonna just align it like this. So basically this is what I want from you. Grade 12, remember, before we at the end, I just want you to say thank you for your time. Okay, and then we're gonna format it a bit, but I want to come back to the questions, please. Again, here you must tell the person how to answer the question. So here I'll say select one, select one, and then the same with this one, also select one. So you just give them a brief explanation for each question, otherwise you can't get those marks, grade 12s. Important thing on the questions, I don't want only yes and no questions. Okay, I want us to also have the questions that have fixed answers, like this one. and also to one that we use a scale. The reason why I want us to use the scale is simply because I want us to use a VLOOKUP or a nested if on the next on Excel. When we take this information and we put it into Excel, I want us to be able to use more than one function, because I want us to get these marks. So please, grade 12s, I know some of you don't want to, you ask yes or no questions. You will not be able to do all of these functions if you only use if you only use count if, okay, or you use yes or no. So there must be something that has to do with the date or the time. You can ask there, when was the last time you had a decent meal? Then they select the date, for instance. So you can use that in Excel. I want us to especially use the VLOOKUP and the nested if, because I want us to exercise this sort for the practical as well. Okay, so what I will give you time now is to drop your questionnaire. I'm going to put in a bit of formatting here now. So what I will do now is, for instance, just putting in a watermark. I'm going to custom the watermark. Let's call it a text, and then I'm going to call it feeding scheme. I'm going to just change the font color. Okay, I'm going to also put in a nice border. I'm going to change the page color. I can also put in a page border. So grade 12s, this is up to you. You know now what to do basically. Okay, important thing, it must just fit all on one page. Remember these lines to distinguish between sections, or you can do it like this. Remember 3 headings. Okay, because what will follow on this, if we have done the questionnaire, you know the drill, how it works. We go to File, Save, and then we're going to go to our Phase 2 folder, and I'm just going to make it here Questionnaire, and then I'm going to call this one my master questionnaire. Okay, and you know the drill from now. So this is my master one. What we will do is we'll print it out, we'll send it to people to answer, okay, and then we get it back, and then we'll fill in the information here on what each person said. So the first, I'm gonna, this is my master one. I'll first lock it. Developer, restrict editing, limit, allow only the following actions, filling in form. This we did last year. Start enforcing, don't put in a password. So now again, I'm going to do it quickly again. Stop protection. So what we will do is we'll have our master questionnaire saved. We'll then go to developer tab, restrict editing, tick there, number 2, edit restrictions, filling in form, and then we click on start enforcing protection, and then you'll see you'll only be able to fill in the form. So what we're going to do is, if we handed out that questionnaire and the first person, let's make it my name, my surname, and gender, Berkeley East, suburb is Fairview somewhere. The background information, are there any feeding schemes? Yes, there are. I'm not very hungry now. And then we spend more than 1,000. So that is for my first one. Then I will go to File, Save As, Browse. I'll call it Questionnaire Arno van Damme. The next person, so if I have all the pages, I'll start filling in the next person's details. So, and then I'll do the same process. File, Save As, each time save as. So Questionnaire, and then I'll type in there Nalani van Damme. Okay, that for each one 25 times, grade 12s. And then the next session I will show you how we're going to take this data and we're going to take it into Excel. Thank you.